Blessings, everyone. Mary, Bridget O'Donoghue here, wanting to just drop in and share a quick video speaking about the clearing of the bloodlines that is taking place right now. We are undergoing powerful cohesing healing, clarifying and cohesing. We cannot be cohesed until we are clarified. So we are being rewoven into this beautiful, immaculate tapestry. So the clarification within the bloodline is ongoing. What this looks like, what this feels like is within the bloodlines, the adaptations, the frequency adaptations, because it is remembered that all, what I have seen of this so far is that the interruptions were frequency. So the seeding, the false seeding or the imposed seeding of the bloodlines were actually frequency seeding to impose intentionality within the bloodline, to impose an outside intentionality into the sacred circuitry, to actually use a frequency weaponry to impose another's intentionality into the sealed circuitry of humanity's, the mechanics of humanity, the mechanics of creation. So that includes whatever that includes, all the adaptations we have gone through. But the remedy is the same. So this is why I'm not too concerned with the details of what has happened, because the solution is one and the same regardless, but it was frequency seeding. So anyway, okay, so therefore the way to cohese, as we know, sound holds form, sound holds matter. The way of cohesion and the way of clarification is through sound healing. So in the place where there was frequency interference, interception, a breaking of the sacred seal through many different ways, but the objective of that breaking through the sanctified seals of humanity was to create this frequency seeding. The solution for that, what is creating the clarification of the human mechanic of this framework within, so that it can only sing one song, coming back to singing the one song, to being of the one frequency, so that there is no inner contortion. We are relieving the inner contortion within ourselves. We are straightening out the spine, the crystalline spine, relieving, stretching out the spine from eons of interception and contraction and convolution. We are undoing that. The solution for this is the sound healing that we are undergoing right now of the Eternal Mother, the source sound that is just channeling through our bodies, through the water of our bodies, to bring our body back to immaculate clarity, crystal clarity, to bring the stone back to crystal. So within the bloodlines, what has been bred into us, using our own mechanics, seeded with false frequency, what has been bred into us is showing itself, and it is walking itself to be seen by the eyes of the sun. We have the eyes of the sun. It is walking itself to us. So it may look like the ego is compelling it, but it is always a soul compelling the ego to free the soul. So regardless, one and all works for the one end, which is freedom for the golden soul, to be witnessed by the eyes of the sunshine, our own eyes of sunshine, to witness ourselves with these golden eyes of wholeness, of freedom, of the eternal dawning, allowing ourselves to rise within these eyes of sunrise, allowing ourselves to rise with these eyes of the eternal dawn, removing that shadow from the eye, removing the harshness and the coldness towards ourselves from the eyes, removing the fear and the shame from the eyes. So this is what is happening now. The sealing around humanity, the seal of humanity, is restoring itself, and it is so important. But it is creating a condensed, pressurized containment. We have lived so long within the abandonment, the void of free will, that this containment of accountability and the balancing, this containment is done to create the sacred space where the breath will become balanced. The breath of duality will do what it will do until it finds its singularity. This may feel like restriction. This containment may feel like restriction. When we have had so long in abandonment, this may feel like restriction. When we have had so many ways, we have all adapted with all that we are to be here and to win or survive throughout these timelines of duality, these timelines of free will, which duality is war. So there is always an imbalance. The timelines we have lived through, there was always an imbalance. So of power, of rightness, of fairness, of right relation. So we have adapted and constructed tools within ourselves to survive and perhaps win whatever we needed to win within that framework. And that made sense. So that's why we did it. The number one thing that has been in the heart of humanity is to survive. And we have survived. And now we are at this place where if we continue as we are, we won't. So this is really the only reason why we're making a change. Like, let's be honest, right? Necessity is the mother of all invention. Necessity is the mother of all invention. So where we are now, let us speak to the true need. Let us speak. We are on the bottom line, right? We have brought ourselves to rock bottom. And even if whatever position we want to take in that, whatever blind eye we want to take or cold shoulder we want to offer, when we are true with ourselves, we understand that we have been part of the mechanic, the system, the one body that has brought humanity to rock bottom. So by virtue of that, we are in our togetherness and our clarification and our cohesion going to be the one breath, the one body that brings humanity to eternal life. We are shifting paradigms, completely shifting paradigms. The paradigm that we have been in is imbalanced, and it creates entropy and pollution, all different types of pollution. It's degenerative. And the paradigm we are creating together now is regenerative. I really struggle with these words. Regenerating. It is endless, it is perpetual, infinite, spiraling freedom. Freedom that does not feel like abandonment. Between the pillars of duality, there is a space of abandonment that has been sold to us as freedom. It is the space of chaos. It is the space with the absence of pattern, the absence of order and the absence of pattern, a space of abandonment. And this is why within duality, there is such extremes within humanity, within the person, of how to behave as a human, how to be here. There's always these two extremes within duality. We are coming to, we are passing everything through in this collapsing of this duality's breath, duality's consciousness. We are passing everything through the rose in the center point, which is the pattern, which is the absence of abandonment, which is the fullness that fills up the space of abandonment. That is the center point, the weaving point of the eye of the needle, that is weaving us back to bodies of love, to being held by the one loving word, the one loving song of the Eternal Mother. So as we are passing ourselves through this center point, we are filling in all absences. Evil is just absence. of intention. Chaos is just absence of pattern. That is all, and we are weaving that in now. As we are doing this in this containment, if we have been used to chaos and abandonment, to when things get too tough, right? When we walk so strong and we do so well, and we throw ourselves into abandonment to take a break, to self-abandonment, whatever way that looks. We are coming to the end of this, because this is what creates the sickness in the body, because we take our body out of the regeneration when we do this. But it is a natural consequence of struggle, as we are not to be in struggle. Struggle is on the other side of abandonment. So, or sacrifice, let's say, when we struggle, then we sacrifice, right? So how we are coming out of this, we are being pulled out of this essentially by this beautiful emergence of core clarity within. In every situation, we are feeling all sides. We are feeling all sides. We are feeling what we intended and what we didn't know that we intended. The full fruit of free will is being felt by each one of us, by this core clarified pillar, the crystalline architecture that sings the song of the body, that sings the song of the eternal mother of the intuition. This crystalline pillar in its clarifying state is unable to harbor any deceit, unable to harbor any deceit anymore. And as we are doing it, as we are moving through it, we will find when we are hiding deceit, or there's places of lies to self, it is just, it's unable to maintain. It's becoming unable to maintain. And when other people create clarity or offer assertions, whether they be 100% true or half true or in the area of truth, it is giving all of us an opportunity between each other to find the whole truth of all things. So asserting a clarified knowing, as small and as big as it is such a blessing to the body. It creates a portal of freedom within the body. It creates a pin drop of truth that allows chaos to arrange itself. Now, chaos within the bloodlines. We can use the word chaos, but when we look at it in terms of having to survive, we would say that chaos was a place to hide. Chaos created a buffer zone. Chaos created a buffer zone, a place to hide, a softness between ourselves and the wolves at the gate, right? Self-sacrifice created a space between ourselves and the wolves at the gate, as we could hand pieces of ourselves and keep the soul intact, as much as possible. We're coming to the end of this. Our wholeness is intended. Our wholeness is a prerequisite. There is no working around our wholeness. It will be the beginning point. Our wholeness, our vibrational integrity, is the seed point of the garden of heaven on earth. So that is a non-negotiable. It will not happen anyway, but through the wholeness of each one of us. Okay, where was I? Yes, so chaos has been a friend. Chaos has been a friend. So when we are clarifying in this time, and it is scattering the demons within us, scattering the snake pit within us, scattering the belief systems that we have held on to, and things we thought we could rely on, beliefs we thought we could rely on, hiding places within ourselves, habits, personalities, identities, whatever. Everything is up for grabs. The intention is freedom, innocence and freedom. So everything else is up for grabs, and none of it was that important anyway. So just let it go as it wants to go. Let it go as it wants to go. Okay. So, what is happening? Free will is being felt. Like I said, the fruit of free will is being felt. All sides of it. The side that we benefited from, and the side that is coming back to bite us in the ass, basically, as we're going to feel it all. And the reason for this is we have to feel it all because we're all so stubborn that we have to feel it all. Otherwise, we won't do anything. And you know that's true. So we're doing this. So this has been done so that we choose divine order. We choose divine order. We choose to give up the chaos. We choose to weave the chaos, receive the chaos, receive the evil, the lack of patterning, the lack of life, the pieces we've cut off, the pieces we've ignored. We would choose to receive them back into this one breath through the rose of the high heart, and allow everything to come back into life, into compassion. We're taking everything out of concept and into compassion. How beautiful is that? To feel that reprieve that is coming for all the parts of ourselves that we have held in concept, all of the opinions, the ideologies, the places we've placed ourselves to try to figure out the circus, collapsing, and we're bringing it all into compassion. We are bringing it all into breath, which is into consciousness and coherence then. And then we will know where everything lies within the body of truth. We were traumatized out of our body. Our body is our mother. That separation from the mother body forced us to create other places to be held, inside of concept, inside of story, inside of identity. And generally, you know yourself, if you hold on to a story too long, you start to fracture, because in order to keep it being real, you have to deny the reality of evolution. So that's kind of hard to do. So okay, so we are coming back to being held in truth by the mother body, by the body. So as our body was held in lies and half truths and concepts, the way out of this is to listen to our body's singular voice. This is the way out of it, to listen to our body's singular voice. And depending on where you are, where each one of us is, that may sound like exhaustion. That may sound like exercise. That might sound like changing food. That might sound like flowing away from people that are causing, stress, or changing something within our life, so the holding of ourselves, what is around us, to honor the truth of what our body is calling for. At all times, we should be in honor to our body's song. At all times, we should seek to be in honor to our body's song. And that is creating the holding. When we do that, when we honor the needs, the primary needs of our body, remember the mother is all about primary needs. If we deny our primary needs and strive to reach higher attainments, we are denying the foundation of who we are, of the machine that we are, the strength that we are. We're denying the sanctity of our own strength, and the sanctity of our own propulsion and our own impetus to be alive. We're denying our own passion for ourselves. So listening to the mother body, taking care of primary needs, and believing that rebuilding our own foundation is imperative, because, of course, in order to weaken the body, that was an area that was really targeted primary needs, taking people away from what they actually need to just be able to survive and thrive. We get the surviving right and it turns into thriving. We get the passion right and it turns into compassion. So we are always in a state of overflow. That is what the natural seed within the Garden of Mother is, in a state of overflow. So we don't have to deny ourselves of anything that is wholesome and true and real. Wanting just to give a quick word on the petulance of free will and what is resisting, resisting within ourselves, what does not want to leave, because it is, like I said, like a little happy nest, of spiders doesn't want to be disturbed. If there are impulses within us that are self-destructive, maybe, or looping, or self-sedating, or impulses that stop, basically any compulsions that stop the spiraling of freedom, and stop our perpetual energy, and stop our radiance and our regeneration. These compulsions, like I said, of abandonment, which seek to kind of pull us back into, like, a couple of steps back, right? We take a step forward and these couple of steps back. There is a difference with resting. Resting is not taking a step back. Resting is called doubling down, reloading. Okay. Resting is doubling down and reloading in your truth and going again. That is one thing. Undoing yourself, abandoning yourself, throwing yourself to the mercy of negative self-talk, negative habits, sabotaging patterns. That is abandonment, and that is chaos, and that is dipping your foot into the well of evil, essentially, and hoping to receive satiation that's never going to happen, right? Is that even a word? I think so. So, yes, they're leaving us. We are coming to the place of divine will, of this golden impulse in the heart that sets the directionality, the trajectory for each one of us. We are coming to this. But that is, the solution to the compulsions of free will. So a lot of what we thought was personality, free will choices, essentially we will be seeing the fullness of them. Me included, obviously. I'm always the first on the chopping block. Everything I say, it's like, yeah, okay. Everything I speak on, I'm on the chopping block too, obviously. So we are seeing the fullness of these free will choices. Seeing that they have been like a choice within a multiple choice question. Is it really freedom? If the soul was in pure freedom, what would we choose? And that's where we're coming to. We're going to see what that looks like when the soul is in pure innocence and wholeness. What would the body choose? What would the soul choose? What would the human choose? That's where we're coming to. So, like, I'm just trying to, like, a lot of what we chose in duality was not freedom. It was not the impulse of freedom. It was just the best half of a bad apple, right? But we are getting the full apple now into our hands, into our tummies, and we're going to feel it. Has to be this way, because we must feel compassion. We must feel the wholeness of everything. There can be no blind spots. There can be no blind spots. Every head is counted, so everyone counts. Every head is counted, so everyone counts. There is an imprint of every single one of us within the womb of the Great Mother, the imprint of our wholeness, of our innocence, of our full glory is with our full potentiality. The seed, the imprint of the seed of who we are, is within the womb of the Great Mother and in the water, in the eternal memory of the water. And it is wanted now that seed and all of the architecture to allow for this, the full mechanic, the circulation, the sealing, everything to allow for this seed to come to full fruit, to come to full glory, is here. And that's what we're walking through right now. So we can trust our heart's impulse, because even if it is a compulsion of shadow, we may have to walk through that for another little while until we see the fullness of it. And we will we may trust and seek to listen to also the body's song, to give our body exactly what it needs, to give our soul exactly what it needs. Okay, that is it. Blessings to everyone. Yeah, blessings everyone. Take care.